You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, episode number 253. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
And we're going to talk some Leafs.
What do you know? Sheldon Keefe returns home for the first time. Back to Toronto, coaching the New Jersey Devils. And I was not liking the way this baby was shaping up. Jersey would score, Leafs would score, Jersey, little cat and mouse here, a little tag, playing just a little tag back and forth, right? No problem. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. Just, they snap a 3-game skid, okay? All good. Top guys, 2 goals by Matthews, 2 goals by Nylander. More on those 2 in a second. But I swear I'm watching this game, and just because of their recent play and how things have been trending and whatever, and I'm like, I didn't think they were going to tie it. I didn't think they were going to come back. I thought they were just going to, let it go, not have the fight in them and whatever. What were your thoughts going down the stretch there and just the whole back and forth thing, all that?
I actually thought at the end, the opposite.
Okay.
I thought, okay, they're going to win this only because the broadcasters just kept talking about how they hadn't lost 4 games in regulation in 9 years or so. They kept talking about the stats so much. And I'm like, all right, the Leafs are going to win this because you've talked about it so much.
Yeah.
I actually thought they played good in the New Jersey game. There were ups and downs. There were ebbs and flows. They just never had the lead until it mattered the most at the end of the game. But other than that, I don't know. I never felt like they were out of it.
Okay, well, no, I never felt like they were out of it, but I've been losing faith. Okay, I'm not sure.
I know what you're saying. I mean, after watching the Vancouver game and then even the Dallas game, and the game before that, just a stretch of the 3-game losses, I get why you would be like, they're done.
Well, I think it goes even long before that, man. We've been saying for a long time, specifically you, that is this the mirage here? Are they really that good? Have they really been playing that good? Or it's the defense, but mainly it's been the goaltending. And I think that's what it has. Now the goaltending has dipped here. There's been a dip in goaltending. There's no doubt about that.
What's going to happen?
Matt Murray, ding dong. Hello, where's Murdoch?
No, we don't see Matt Murray.
Let's give him a look.
I would rather ding dong Stolars.
Well, he's on the ice, okay, back on the ice, but he's not returning until after 4 Nations, maybe beginning of February, but probably, after 4 Nations, right? Probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Joseph Woll's numbers were incredible that they were due to dip a little bit.
Well, he's got a huge load right now.
He's got a massive load. But anyway, they're trying to, put a few other guys in there to lighten the load a little bit. But still, he's got.
Are they really doing that though? Is Hill to be playing?
Oh, why? No, but I mean, last week they had 2 games that weren't back to back, and they went Wall Hill to be instead of both Wall. But I just mean numbers wise, his game was due to dip, and it dipped. But you know what? Good teams, when your goaltender dips, that's when you got to score a few more goals and dig your team out of it, kind of like they did against New Jersey. Because I didn't think Wall played that great that game.
No.
But I get what you're saying. This whole season to me has felt like a bit of a mirage. They're first place in the Atlantic.
Well, what are they really? What are they?
I don't know. It's a lot of 1-goal games, but I kind of get that that's Berube's style, and that's what he wants to bring to the table is these tight checking, low scoring games. I don't know. It just doesn't feel, when I watch them, do they feel like a first place team to you?
Not at all.
They don't to me.
No, but that's the Atlantic has been so shit. And we're going to get into some big picture stuff here as we get going. The Atlantic, everyone in the Atlantic has dipped, but now all of a sudden, Habs red hot, Detroit can't fucking lose. Ottawa, not as good, but still in the mix. Well, it's true.
Yeah, I know.
Sabres, forget about it, whatever, right off. But Ottawa, Detroit, Montreal, one of those teams makes the playoffs, I think. I think one of those teams makes the playoffs. Now, that's maybe a stretch. It could be a stretch because
Yeah.
obviously the Bruins are in the mix. You know where the Panthers are going to be. You know where Tampa's going to be. We'll get more into that. Hang on. So let's back up here. So John Tavares, he blows his fucking groin wide open at practice today. They're practicing the power play in these little, like, tight configurations down there. I don't know. Like, I'm sure you saw the video. Like, it kind of looked like his leg got caught up.
They got caught up with Tanev, and Tanev sort of skated and pulled his leg with him, not really knowing. And
Dude,
Tavares's groin just went.
You could see it split right in half. Just forget about it, man.
And like this, he was like screaming on the ice by the boards, and I knew. I've seen that face. I've seen that scream. I said to myself, "That's a groin." You know what that is? That's code for. That's code for groin. That's code for groin pull.
Is that the worst kind?
Well, no, you can get worse, but a code for groin pull.
Like, what's worse? Does it go higher or lower? Like, it's 3 lower or is 5? It's 5 worse or is 3?
I'll say 5.
Okay,
I'll say 5 is worse. Because
I
didn't just make this up.
Yeah.
No, code for groin pull. I had one in '89, and still, it's been 30-something years. I still haven't recovered from it. So.
No, it's hard to recover from.
Yeah, so you really do.
This is not good. Tavares not missed a lot of time, but he did look like he was feeling it leaving practice yesterday.
And immediately put on IR. Immediately.
100%. Yeah, they're done with this day-to-day shit now. It's week to week.
No more, it's day-to-day. We'll see how it goes. They were just like, no, he's done for at least 7 to 10 days.
So day-to-day meant in the past week to week. So we're expecting months here, probably.
Yeah, we're expecting probably May.
Like, he's not playing before the Four Nations. There's no way.
No. I mean, it wouldn't make sense if he's 7 to 10. February 12th is the Four Nations. So if he's 2 weeks, just let him have that break.
He is a quick healer, though. Remember when he got that just fucking rocked by Corey Perry? It was an accident, but in the first round there in the bubble. And man, was that a scary incident. And then literally like 2 days later, he's back on the ice, like getting ready, like wanting to fucking play. Like, so he
code for groin.
No, I know that's going to keep you out. Forget about it. That could turn into year to year.
Could be the end.
There's no guarantee he makes it back here. Like, I know we're a little tongue in cheek, but you never know when you blow your groin. Grade 4.
Yeah.
What code 4? Sorry.
Not grade 4.
Code 4. Well, that's what you did in '89.
Grade 89. 4, yeah, I was grade 4 in '89. Yeah.
But
was I grade 4? No, I wasn't that. I wasn't that high. I was like grade 2. Yeah. Grade 2 in '89. Pulled my groin. Code 4. On the monkey bars.
That's the worst spot to do it,
yeah.
man.
Trying to impress a girl. You know. Anyway.
Ripped it wide open. So look, man, I mean, okay, so anyway, practicing the power play, whatever. Power play a little bit better, I guess. McMahon
scored.
Who got the goal in the power play? Nylander, I think.
Matthews.
Were Nylander 2? So Nylander scored 2, Matthews scored 2. I don't have it in front of me. Did they score? They didn't score 2 power play goals, did they?
No, they got 1 power play goal. Matthews got the power play goal.
And Nylander,
Bobby McMahon, they had the other power play was like 20 seconds, and then they took a penalty.
Yeah, okay. So Nylander gets the OT winner, Leafs win at 4-3. So they fight back. It was good to see. I mean, I think the effort was better. Like, I don't think the Boo Birds would have been there last night per se, but been getting ugly the last couple games, right? Like, we didn't do who'd they lose to on Tuesday? Dallas. So that was not a pretty effort. I did not like that game whatsoever. Like, that was as bad as Vancouver, basically. Like, it was dog shit, man. It was true dog shit. And their penalty or their power play, I mean, yeah, okay, so you finally get one last night, but I mean, you can't be super excited about it. And Berube comes out like post game too, and he's just like, he's leaning into the media. He's like, well, like, guys, like, we're 23% over the last like 10 games, right? 23 fucking percent. What do you want to fucking, like, what's that gonna do? What the fuck is that gonna do? We're 20, like,
well, 23% is high.
Not really.
But I mean, it's better than what like 23% is better than what it looks like and what it's been playing. But
Where are you?
he's just cherry picking, right?
Where are you the other 77% of the fucking time?
Well, he's just cherry picking, like,
He's
you could
pulling
get,
stats from wherever.
well, yeah, you could do anything for a week and be like, for the past
23%.
yeah, like you could be
100%,
like
90%.
for the past 7 days, I haven't eaten a carb.
Yeah.
Okay, but the whole time before that, you were eating fucking bread every day. So it's kind of like that. He just cherry picked. He was just trying to get the media off them because I think the spotlight's on the power play. Like they're fucking filming the practices. The one where Tavares got hurt. Yeah. Why is the media there filming the power play practice?
I don't know. That's Toronto, right? Masters. He's got to get in there with a fucking camera and a microphone. Like,
yeah, I get it. The power plays suck, but like they just make it such a big story. Berube's just trying to. He's just trying to deflect the attention. But you know what? I know it's only one goal and we shouldn't get too excited, but it's a start, man. It's
start.
One goal. It gets the monkey off their back. Maybe they can actually get this power play rolling. I know it was small, but I didn't mind Bobby McMahon out there. Just something different.
The one thing different, right? Like what?
Yeah. You said it a few podcasts, but anything different.
But guess what? Not by choice, by necessity. Because it would not, because nothing would have been different. Because look what they were practicing on fucking Monday afternoon. So by necessity, not by choice. Don't love that. So anyway, whatever. We'll see what happens here going forward. Hopefully they can try to get this power play fucking a little bit higher than 23%. I think they've dipped now to their 8. I can't remember if they were. I think they were 16th when we were talking about giving the grades and shit. Now I think they're 18th. So they've slipped. But Berube's like, well, or 23% over the last 10 games. Okay, like, what are you starting to sound a little bit like Babcock there, Berube? Let's not go there.
No, I think he's just deflecting it.
What are you trying to say here, guys?
I would just fucking Babs. Honestly, man, I wouldn't even worry about it. Like, you wipe the slate clean and you're like, look, the power play's been mediocre at best. We got one in the New Jersey game. Let's keep it rolling. Let's see if we can get this power play heated up. Because it really, who gives a shit what it looks like now? I care if I want it to look good, but I want it going by the playoffs. So fix it now and get it going by the playoffs.
But this whole thing, like, it's not just a now thing. And so I'm going to go back to the Nylander's comments after the fucking Dallas loss, right? Best. Just tarps off. This guy, I don't think this guy's worn a shirt in a fucking interview all season long. Like, he used to do it every now and then. Now he just doesn't even think about putting a fucking shirt on. He's just why would he? Exactly. Like, full tarps off. He loves it. Like, he loves it. And he just comes out and he's just like, after they just lost their 3rd straight game, getting booed off the ice for the 2nd straight game. The offense is dried up. He hasn't scored in 10 fucking games. And he's like, I don't really see what the big deal is. Like, what?
It's like it's only 3 games.
Like, he literally said, that's what he said, right? Like, what's the big deal, really? Like,
yeah, he's like, it's 3 games. We just need to relax.
What's the big deal?
Not a big deal.
Dude, the big deal is that you guys, like, you still don't know how to do it. Like, you still don't know how to properly do it. That's the big deal. Yeah, it's January. It's the dog days. You just signed a big ticket at this exact time 1 year ago. He just signed the richest contract, I think, in franchise history, William Nylander. And here we are a year later. I know we got 2 goals last night, but here we are a year later, and he hasn't scored this year until last night. So
yeah, he went on a dip.
But like,
he didn't score for a bit.
Like, what are we talking about here, guys? I thought he was going to start saying like some wild shit, but that was pretty wild enough. Like, those were almost worse than Marner's comments. But Willie he's so nonchalant. Yeah, it's just like if those words would have came out of Mitch,
that's the difference, right? That's the difference between the heat on Mitch and the non-heat on Willie, because those were worse than what Marner said.
When Willie says it, I don't find it funny. It still pisses me off, but I'm just like, yeah, Willie. Like, he's like, what's the big deal? But when Mitch would say it with the more like serious face, he'd be like, well, I don't see what the big deal is, guys. Like, we're playing good out there. Like, everything's, we're just bounces, blah, blah, blah. Like,
and we're just like, you shut the fuck is this guy doing?
They're
I
both,
get it.
they're both crazy though, because here we are 8-9 years in, and neither one of them has yet to like really figure it out. What the market wants, what the market's begging for. A solid fucking effort, not a oh ho hum, Willie, you're making 11 fucking sheets, but the guy that paid $1,000 to take his family, the only game he goes to a fucking season, driving home, listening to the post game, and you're saying, it's a big deal, really.
It's a big deal. No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, Nylander, he was like talking about sort of the big picture, like over the course of 82 games. What's the big deal? It's 3 games. We'll get it back on track. We were microcosm, like focused, just zoomed right in on how you could do that to people who paid the tickets to see that fucking game.
Oh.
And they don't even think about that. That doesn't even cross their mind.
Like Gretzky used to say, I don't know if you remember Wayne saying this. Gretzky, I think it was Gretzky. He used to say, like, I tried to play my best game every night because I don't know if it's like who in the crowd, like if it's the first time seeing me, the last time seeing me, whatever. Like, do you remember him saying stuff like that?
Yeah, he said that a lot.
So like these guys just don't even have any sense of that at all. They don't like. I think they hate the fan base. Like I think that they think like the fan base is wrong. How dare they? I think they have, dude.
They don't hate the fan base.
You don't think there's a sense of William Nylander and Marner and
they hate fucking guys like me and you. They hate guys like me and you. They hate the fuckers doing the podcast. They hate the media. They hate everybody, like the angry sort of fucking old man screaming at the TV. But the actual fan base, they don't hate the fan base. There's a lot of love for Mitch and Willie. There's just like a group of fucking angry people.
Well, like
they have no time for.
I think they look at it as like, how dare you question us? We're fucking gods in this town. We're gonna
see, but that's what I'm talking about. That's the attitude that they're like, because they don't think that way.
I think they do 100%.
And that's why they look at you. That's why they look at you and they're like, it's 3 games. Relax.
I can read those guys. They're cocky little fucks. You know that they think that way. You know, like they're making all the money in the world playing in the best
they have egos. 100%.
Huge egos. Playing in the biggest hockey market in Canada, and they haven't won a fucking thing, and they still think it's just all fucking good. No big deal. That's why you can't say comments like that. Yes. Because then I come on here and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like you haven't won anything when it fucking matters. So yeah, you lost 3 games. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't really matter. But guess what? When you lose 3 games to Boston or Tampa or Florida,
when you blow it in the first round, it's going to matter again. I get it. The fans like us and the people that listen to our show, like we look at it that way. We look at it like, do you guys not understand that you haven't won anything and that you'll always fuck it up in the first round of the playoffs and you never bring it. And then you say comments like that and we just automatically jump back to, see, they don't learn anything. They're still the same fucking guys.
Well, it seems that way, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I get it. But from their point of view, I think they're coming out and they're not thinking about our frustration over our life as being Leaf fans. They're coming out being like, okay, we've played 3 bad games. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And it pisses us off because we're like, we will worry about it.
Well,
son of a bitch.
Look, okay, we'll move on.
But anyway,
Matthews, I thought looked really good. His shot. The Dallas game, he scored short side on Ottinger. The goal he popped in last night, short side on Markstrom. Same fucking goal. Same
beautiful
goal, exact
shot.
Same.
Yeah.
So I think best game he's played all season last night, which is tough.
Good.
Like we're 45 games in, and literally that was the only time that I was like, oh, he really helped us win a game. Like he hasn't really helped us win any game.
He hasn't been around for a long time.
Like he's chipped in with some goal. Like I think he's got 15 or 20 goals. He's in that
I don't know what he has exactly, but I know what you're saying. A lot of his goals have been sort of garbage goals. That was vintage Austin Matthews. Like we need a tying goal, and he fucking rips it top shelf.
Yeah, he helped us win a game. We haven't seen that in 40 fucking games. We just haven't seen it. So hopefully that's a sign of good things to come for him. He looks good, man. Like he looks a little more engaged and what have you. So I don't know what your thoughts are there. Like, what do you think? All healed and good to go, or he's just learning to play through it now a little bit?
I don't know if he's all healed or good. He's definitely not 100%. There's no way. I mean, you don't fly to Germany and get to be 100%. I don't think anyone is playing in the regular season. It was the first sign, just like the power play. Like, I'm going to wipe the slate clean. Matthews is starting now. That was the first time I saw vintage Austin Matthews. Let's see where he goes from here.
Oh, he's just gearing right up for the Four Nations, brother.
I hope he's super healthy, and I hope he has a great Four Nations and then fucking carries us into the playoffs.
I hope so too.
Let's see. But yeah, it's one game, right? He could come back and look like dog shit for the next little while. He could hurt himself. I don't know.
One game. What's the big deal?
Tanev might take his foot and give him a code 4 groin, and that would be it.
It's one game. What's the big deal, really?
It's one
What's
game.
the big game?
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? Okay, so I'm going to go a little more off the rails here. Berube, like, just going back to the 3-game slide, where's the accountability? Like, this guy came in preaching accountability. Tree Living was talking about it. Like, everyone was talking about accountability. Is anything different here? Is there anything different? Is he doing anything different than what Sheldon did his entire time here? Because I don't see it. I don't see the accountability, especially the Saturday against Vancouver, Tuesday against Dallas, when your top guys were absolute pathetic out there. What did he do, Chad? Keep running them out. 4-1 game. He's got all his stars on the ice in the last couple minutes trying to, like, the game's over, dude. It's 4-1. What do you think they're gonna cook up here? They've got nothing. Their power play's dead. Like, there's nothing going on. Is that not the right time to be like, okay, here comes some accountability? Because I hear him talk about it, but doesn't fucking do it. Doesn't do it. Like, there's no accountability for the top guys. Have you seen it, or am I missing this here? Where's it been?
No, I
Willie Nylander plays the entire fucking power play every time. He hadn't scored in 10 fucking games prior to last night.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought for a while that Berube was kind of maybe, he was doing the thing that a new coach would do. We've seen everything a million times because we've been watching it, but he's new. So he's going to try Matthews and Marner together, and he's going to keep it there for a while, and he's going to play them, kind of see what he's got out of everything. But we're at the halfway point, and you're right. It feels just a lot like it has every other year.
What's different?
There's nothing really different. I guess just his tone and the style of play, but the actual accountability that you're talking about, there really isn't. You go -6 in a game and your ice time doesn't go down at all. Or the way you played, like you said, in the Dallas game, and you're out there for the last 3 minutes trying to get, I don't know, a goal to make it 4-2. Yeah, I don't see the accountability, but maybe we have to wait. Maybe we have to wait, and maybe the accountability comes crunch time.
Time's into the playoffs here. Yeah, but like, do you not want to kind of send a message before? Like, you don't want to send a message like, hey, guess what? You do this shit and look at the results. You got to start sending that shit, making that message clear now. You can't wait until we're down 2-1 against the Bruins or some shit. Like, I don't know, man. I want to. This guy talked a big talk coming in, and I still like Berube and whatever. I want to see more out of this guy, a lot fucking more. Like, just him and.
But at the same time, man, I know the Atlantic is weak, but they're first place. Like, what can you
hanging on?
I know, but what can you really do for accountability? I know you could. There are things he could do to be like, we're not going to fall into these, these old habits, and we're not going to do things.
Players, right? Like,
there are things for that, but at the same time, can you really be super hard on a team that is first place in the Atlantic?
I would be, because I don't think they've played that good. I think that the other teams around them have not played good either, and because of circumstance, the Leafs are where they are.
So you don't think they get any slack for?
Oh, they're getting slack for sure.
Like, they are winning a lot of hockey games.
Yeah,
I know we don't like it, and I just have a funny feeling that in my gut that it's just not like that. It is a mirage, that it's not real. But I hope I'm wrong. But at the same time, it must be hard for a coach to walk into a room and demand accountability when you're a first place team in your division.
I suppose, but I would just look at the tape and be like, yeah, okay, we're first place. Like, how are we first place, guys? Because look at this fucking play.
I'm sure they do watch the plays, and I'm sure he does point all that shit out. It's not. I don't think it's like a country club anymore. I think the tone has changed. But I know what you're saying. You're looking for, hey, you're sitting. You're not playing.
Okay.
Like you're going to sit for 5-10 minutes.
For sure. Like, I just don't think the accountability, like, just because of the message coming in was accountability, I haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it. And if you want to say, well, that's because they're in first, like, okay, fine. But just you look at their play, and they could easily not be in first. They could be in, take Stolars and Wall out of some of those early games, and they're not in first. They're in third. Right. So,
but Stolars and Wall are a part of the team.
I know. Okay, so big picture stuff here. The Atlantic Division specifically, obviously, Leafs, Panthers, Tampa, they're going to be there. Bruins are in a wild card, I believe, right now. But then you've got, like I was saying off the top, you've got Detroit, who just, man, talk about a new fucking coach bump there. Steve Yzerman looks like a fucking genius hiring Todd McLennan.
Yeah.
Like he's
Columbus and Boston are in the wild card spots at 50 points and 49 points. Okay. Boston in the second one at 49 points. Right behind them, Ottawa at 48 with 2 games in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal, 48, 2 games in hand. So Montreal and Ottawa are tied. And then the Red Wings at 46 points with 2 games in hand.
They have just been cooking, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Red Wings have been the hottest team over the last few weeks. Yeah. Them in Montreal.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Yeah. I mean, I remember we did a podcast a couple weeks ago, and the Habs were so far down the list.
Oh.
That we were like, oh, Sabres, Habs, they're done for the year. And
now, I think they've won like 9 out of 10 or something.
Yeah, now they're like right back in the mix. Like they are just 1 win away from being in the first wild card spot. And because they have a game in hand, they would be ahead of Columbus. That's crazy.
It is crazy. So what do you think there, man? I mean, I think when it's all said and done, and this is just what I think, just from previous seasons and previous Leaf seasons, and knowing who they are, knowing what they do, I think that the Florida Panthers will find a way to win the Atlantic Division. The Leafs could, but I think the Panthers are a better team. And when you get going down the stretch, and I've been watching some of their games lately, like highlight wise, and like Kachuk's picking it up, Bennett's picking it up. Like these guys are like, they're starting to get it going. Like Christmas is over. Like wait till after the Four Nations for these guys. Like they're going to start, like they want to win again. Like they want to win again. So I think that's going to be a real problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But okay, let's just say however it shapes out, if it's the Panthers, hopefully it's not the fucking Panthers because they're dead. I don't see any way, the way they're currently constructed, that they beat the Florida Panthers. Sorry, folks. But Boston, Tampa, let's even throw in the Sens, Detroit, Montreal. How many of those, and it might not work out that way. It could be Columbus. We don't know. Whoever the other wild card team is could be from the Metro. How many of those teams, including the Blue Jackets, would surprise you, Chad, if they fucking beat the pants off the Leafs in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs?
How many of those teams?
Yeah.
Not many.
Oh, wouldn't surprise you.
It wouldn't surprise me. No, I mean, it would surprise me if the Habs or the Sens got in and beat the Leafs. Although that happened in the North Division when they were the fucking king of the castle and the Habs came back to beat them. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me just because that's what the Leafs do. They lost to Columbus in the bubble in the best of 5. They didn't even make the playoffs that year.
You know what scares me a little bit. I don't know much about Columbus's top guys, but so let's just stick to the Atlantic now. You look at guys like Kachuk and Bennett and Ekblad. You look at Marchand and
I don't.
Pasternak.
The way Boston's playing, man, I don't know if they make the playoffs.
We'll see. But I'm just doing a comparison with like top guys in the way they play, and like there's the fight and the dog. Tampa, Kucherov, Point, Cirelli, whatever, Hedman. Like these guys are fucking killers. They'll kill you. Like you take your foot off the gas for a second, they're gonna fucking kill you. I don't know. Like Detroit, like they've got Patty Kane and Maurice Sider on the back end, and Dylan Larkin, but like they're unproven, right? Well, not Kane, but he's aging and whatever.
Yeah.
The Sens, Brady Tkachuk, and like they've got like, you want to fuck with Brady Tkachuk? Like not me. I don't think there's a guy on the Leafs, like maybe Pacioretty, maybe Nyes, like they're Domi, I guess, but like just all those guys I just named on all the potential matchups that they're going to play. And then
they are all like their top players.
And look how gritty
not a Domi or Nice,
exactly.
Not a secondary player.
Exactly.
Their top players have grit and jam.
So Mitch and Austin and Willie, can they beat those guys? And I'm being serious. Like, can they legitimately go to a different place where they've never gone before? I know I sound like fucking Luke Skywalker up in here. Okay? But go where no man has gone before.
Code 5 groin. No man has gone before.
But do you know what I'm saying here? Like, it's concerning. Is it
I mean, listen, man, can they? Yeah, they can.
Sure, they can.
They can. Anything's possible. They can.
Do they want to?
Will they? Because there's only in the playoffs, there's only one way to beat those guys. And that's why Craig Berube was brought in and this core 4 was not broken up at the end of the season. Because we were all riding down fucking Bay Street with our pitchforks wanting one of these guys to be traded out of town.
Oh.
And management said, nope, we're going to bring in a gritty, old, grizzled man, Craig Berube, tough as nails. He's going to go behind the bench and it's going to be a different team. Well, you're right. Look at the path, man. They have to go through. They have to play that way. They have to show some jam in the playoffs if they're going to get through a round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. I don't know. Can they? Yeah, they can. Will they? We'll find out.
We'll find out.
But like you said, accountability, man. That's why Berube was brought in.
Yeah, he doesn't play the games, unfortunately, though. So unless they get that power play.
No, but he was brought in to be like, this is how you have to do it. I think Keefe learned that a little bit. The first couple of playoffs, I think Keefe thought we could dance our way to the Stanley Cup final, and then he realized that wasn't possible.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
we got a few months to find out.
Can you see Pasternak and Marchand in a scrum and Matthews and Marner wanting to engage in that? Or Point or Kucherov and Cirelli or whatever or Bennett and Kachuk? Like, I mean, you think that Mitch and Austin are engaging in that fucking shit? They're not. No. They're not. So I don't see. Let me just throw out in my opinion, the best team in Canada who has a real shot at winning the Stanley Cup, the Edmonton Oilers. McDavid and Draisaitl. Think those guys play with fucking heart when it counts or no? Yeah. Will they be in a scrum in 2 fucking seconds?
We watched it for 4 rounds last.
So why are they willing to do it? But our boys, no, sorry, not tonight. Like, just not tonight, guys. And it's just not them. It's not them. And it sucks that it's not them. But like, can you win when you don't have that? When that's not in your DNA? Like McKinnon, McDavid, all the guys I just named, they all are cut from the same cloth. And all the guys to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, the top guys, they're all cut from the same cloth too. But it's just a much different fucking cloth. You know what I'm saying? It barely covers, like,
it's a washcloth.
It's a washcloth. It's a
washcloth. I get what you're saying. And to tie it back around, that is exactly why we get upset when they come out and say, it's only 3 games, or I didn't think we played that bad, is because we're desperately seeking, we desperately want them to show us that they can be cut from that cloth. And when they say shit like that, you're like, God, it's the same shit.
Yeah, like, I guess another word for it would be like, don't be pussies when it matters. How about that?
Just try. Just try a little bit. Anyway, anything else we can get in?
Let's roll. We'll be back after the Habs game because I don't know how that's going to go. We'll be back on Sunday night.
Back Sunday night. So for the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget, we got a couple entries, so I'm going to save them up. But if you want to rant about this team, email us, tipinpodcast@gmail.com. with your video or audio
is
you ranting.
Is there a I thought it was just Tip In Podcast.
No, it's the tipinpodcast@gmail.com. I think a few people have tried sending it to Tip In. If you're listening to the audio version, the email is in the description on the podcast platform. But you can just record an audio note or record yourself making a video and ranting about the team. And we're going to compile some of them, and then we're going to do a segment where we play them. So you can follow us on YouTube here, Tip In Maple Leafs Podcast. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit like, leave a comment. You can also follow us on any podcast platform. And until next time, I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
We will.
Hey, listen, our old buddy John Klingberg back in the league signs with the Edmonton Oilers to run the power play.
Why?
Tree. Well, you know what? Hey, tree living. I mean, I think the Leafs were in on that, but like I think I would have been okay with it because he would have been cheap, and I think they need a puck mover back there, and they need someone to run the power play. So anyway, good luck in Edmonton, Johnny boy. We'll see what happens if their power play is not good enough fucking anyway without him. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Big game tomorrow night in Montreal with the red hot Montreal Canadiens. Let's see, going into Montreal Saturday night, Leafs Habs. Doesn't get any better. Go Leafs, go. Catch you later. You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale.